Hello everyone, this is my CPS folio1 and my name is Hongwei. For my request work observation, I observed my daily dishes and sketched a goose which acts as my observed object. In response to the theme of observation, I sketched a dark goose using Photoshop and my brushes. And by observing the daily dishes and searching for some funny pictures, I tried to show a funny moment that the goose was caught and his secret inside body was exposure. All the food we are eating today are from nature or other animals, so we should be grateful to them. But and similar work was work by Albert Tesoro, and Albert is an illustrator, and he used bright colors with a funny comic style sketch a number of stories for his audience, and his work are really full of imaginations, and you can read caricatures from his artworks. For week 2, I did a 3D environment to refer to the week 2 theme tinkering. Because I'm not really familiar with the 3D mapping and lightning, so for week 2, I explored further about these techniques. By exploring mapping textures and lightning, I presented a dark, horrible children room. I love survival dark games or animation with children as the main character that always attract me a lot. In such games or films, the scenes are cute, but the atmosphere are always very dark and seems dangerous. Little Nightmares can be a good example, and it's also my inspiration for week 2's exercise. This game did a good work about light and shadow to catch players' emotion, to evoke players' intent and fear. I actually like all the designs in this game, including those terrible monsters. In week 3, I did a short animation about an apple running on the street. In response to the theme of fun object, I made this short animation using apples and photo taken a few years ago and the tools of After Effects. By sketching these apples' legs and arms, I attempt to tell a story about an ordinary apple fighting against its destiny. In many stories, apples stand for mystery or wisdom, like stories of Newton and Steve Jobs. But not all the apples are lucky to be a great apple. Heroes live in legend. In this video, the apple have a dream to see this world, to run away from where he lived. But he met a lot of difficulties. I didn't give the apple a strong body to walk around because I want to show how weak the apple is when he faced to the world. But he still kept trying. Same as human, it's not easy to be successful, but we should always find something we are chasing for or into it. Then life can be lovely no matter how much difficulties we are facing. Also, using simple lines, changes, and the inside emotions is a funny way to tell these stories. And some inside emotions are more charming for me, and I believe it's charming for other audience. Similar drawing styles using crazy line works where I got my inspiration from by Masaki Yusa.
俺とこそ結婚し俺今でもみょんちゃんのこと大好きや
You can see his animation doesn't bother by strict animation techniques like perspective drawings or color styles. but he has a special ways of making animation that is crazy. The design line changes can always express the character's emotion to the max. Here are some other inspirations from Masaki Yusa. All have the insane colors and line works. In response to the theme of Wake Forest and discussion of place, I draw an old restaurant using Photoshop and my brushes. By using airbrush and soft brush, I show the old place with warm lights that allow people to relax, talk, and share their lives. I read a book called This Place on Third Avenue. In the book, there's a small old bar at the intersection of Third Avenue and 45th Street in New York. In the bar, a journalist uses his eyes, ears, and pen illustrate a different version of New York. It shows the real lovely city by observing and writing down people's stories. And I try to use my pen. There is a really similar work that with same color style and warm lights is a game called Hungry Something Moonlit Memories. The color of wood can always make a feeling of a region restoration, and if there's some soft light, it will make people feel safe and relaxed. As to my week 5 exercise, I draw a parallel using Photoshop, and by using the upward view, I try to present a view of characters merged with nature into one lovely sunset. When I was a child, I took a pretty good photo in Venezia, in Italy. I used the same angle with Wakefile sketch, shooted the boatman's face with Venezia's river and sky as background, and that one shows a fantastic match between boatman and nature. That is one of my inspirations, but unluckily I was too young, don't know how to save photos properly, so I lost it. I cannot show it in this video. And the two characters in my Wakefile sketches are Stevie Cat and Piggy Boy. This is an imagination that humans were a part of nature, like normal animals, without any human activities and harmful to environment. Inspiration is from this photography called Slightly Altered, did by a photographer called Sanchor Dogs. And that is. Thank you for listening my presentation.